Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit LIONS fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, buckle up because what's unfolding in the NFC North right now is nothing short of a blockbuster, and it's going to have ripple effects that could redefine the Lions' future and their quest for a Super Bowl. We've just learned about a trade that's been brewing behind the scenes, one that could turn the tide for the Detroit Lions and shake up the entire division. It involves the Chicago Bears, a team that's been struggling to find its footing, especially on defense, and the Lions, who are looking to capitalize on this moment to solidify their position as NFC contenders. The trade itself is quite significant. Chicago is sending Jaylon Johnson, one of the league's premier cornerbacks, to Detroit in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027. That's a hefty price, but it signals how much the Lions see Johnson as a key piece in their championship puzzle. Let's talk about Johnson first. This guy is a lockdown corner, a true elite at his position. He's been a star for the Bears, especially in coverage, and his recent performances only reinforce that reputation. In 2025, he's recorded 45 tackles and 3 interceptions over just 8 games, which is pretty remarkable considering the injury concerns he's had in the past. His PFF grade, which is an important indicator of his overall performance, sits at an impressive 86. 8 and his EPA per coverage is plus 0.18, showing how effective he's been in limiting opposing offenses. Johnson's ability to shut down receivers is outstanding. He boasts an 8 PD, pass deflections, count and allows just 4 1-yards after catch per game, which makes him a nightmare for any receiver. And his career stats: over 320 solo tackles, 18 interceptions, and 7 defensive touchdowns. Not to mention, he's been rated as a 52% win rate in man coverage by PFF, which is elite, and he's had minimal injury issues, with 0 injuries in 2025. If you're a Lions fan, you know how much they've needed secondary reinforcements, especially with injuries to Maddox, whose hamstring is questionable, and Dorsey, who's out with a wrist injury. Johnson's addition is not just an upgrade, it's a game changer, a true X-factor that could elevate the Lions' secondary from good to great. What makes this trade even more intriguing is the context behind it. The Bears, currently sitting at 3-5 with a cap hit of around $12 million, are clearly in a rebuilding mode. They're trying to rebuild a defense that's been leaking points, allowing 29 points per game, and their offensive line is also a concern, giving up 33 sacks. Chicago is in a phase of resetting, and that involves acquiring future assets to help them rebuild around young players and draft picks. Johnson, with a $17 million contract, is a valuable but expensive piece, and the Bears are looking to shed cap space and get draft capital to focus on their offensive line issues. The trade, in a way, is a move of leadership for future potential. It's a static move for Chicago, who's prioritizing picks to rebuild their front 7 and offensive line, especially in a division where they're behind the Packers and Vikings right now. But for Detroit, it's a different story. The Lions are sitting comfortably at 6-2 and are already showing signs of being a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Adding Johnson, a player who can lock down top receivers and create turnovers, could be the piece they need to push them over the top. Now, let's dig into what Johnson's presence means on the field for Detroit. The secondary, which has been somewhat inconsistent this season due to injuries and some miscommunications, gets a massive boost with Johnson in the lineup. He's a zone coverage specialist under Glenn, and his presence will likely elevate the entire unit. Imagine him lining up in zone, reading the quarterback's eyes, and making those crucial interceptions that can shift momentum. His recent performance against the Vikings in Week 6 is a perfect example. He shut down all targeted passes, allowing 0 yards, which is a rare feat. His ability to disrupt passing lanes and force turnovers is a huge asset for the Lions' defense, which currently ranks around 20th in pass defense DVOA. With Johnson, that ranking should improve significantly, and the projected increase of around 10 interceptions and a 19% boost in coverage EPA could be enough to turn Detroit into one of the most feared passing defenses in the league. And it's not just about the numbers. Johnson's leadership and experience are invaluable, especially for a secondary that's been hit hard by injuries. His presence will help young players like Arnold, who already has 2 interceptions in 2025 and a solid PFF grade of 83. 7. To develop faster and become more confident. For the Lions' pass rush, this is a huge relief. With Johnson covering the top receivers, the pass rush can focus on getting to the quarterback without as much fear of being burned deep. It's a perfect synergy. Johnson can neutralize elite WRs like Justin Jefferson, creating mismatches that favor Detroit's defense. This trade is also reminiscent of other major cornerback moves in recent years, like Gilmore's trade to the Patriots, which significantly boosted the team's chances and odds. The Lions, currently sitting at plus 800 to plus 400 in Super Bowl odds, could see their championship window open even wider with Johnson locking down offenses and forcing more turnovers. Speaking of odds, this move has already started to shift the betting landscape. FanDuel's odds for Detroit winning the Super Bowl have improved dramatically, and Johnson's role as an X-factor in the playoffs cannot be overstated. His ability to deliver shutdown performances in high-pressure moments will be crucial as the Lions push towards the postseason. The NFC North is a competitive division with the Packers and Vikings always lurking, but with Johnson in the fold, Detroit gets a serious edge. His track record of winning 52% of his man coverage battles, along with his history of minimizing injuries, makes him a high-value addition. This trade might just be the catalyst that propels Detroit from a good team to a true dynasty contender, especially with the team's core, including Jared Goff, playing at a high level. Goff's 600 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and a rating of 85. 2 have helped the Lions stay consistent, and with a stronger secondary, he'll have even more short and intermediate options to exploit defenses, boosting their red zone efficiency, currently at 58% touchdowns, and their ability to sustain drives. Now, looking at the bigger picture, it's clear that this move isn't just about this season. It's about setting a foundation for years to come. Detroit's management is clearly thinking long-term, and acquiring Johnson is a statement of intent. It's a move that signals they're not just trying to make the playoffs. They're aiming to dominate the NFC and finally bring that elusive Super Bowl trophy home after decades of waiting. The Lions' secondary, which has been somewhat average and vulnerable, is now being transformed into a strength, with Johnson as the centerpiece. This shift not only improves their defense, but also sends a message to the rest of the league that Detroit is serious about contending. What about the division rivals? Well, the Packers and Vikings are certainly noticing. If Detroit manages to turn their secondary into a real strength, it will be much harder for divisional opponents to exploit their passing games. The Vikings, with Justin Jefferson, will have a tougher time against Johnson, who has the skill and experience to neutralize top-tier receivers. The Packers, always trying to rebuild and find their identity, now see a stronger obstacle in Detroit's secondary. This trade could be the spark that ignites a new era for the Lions, one where they're not just playoff contenders but division champions with a real shot at the NFC crown. And let's not forget the impact on the entire NFC landscape. With the Lions acquiring a player of Johnson's caliber, their Super Bowl odds are improving, and their confidence is skyrocketing. The team's defense, which already has a solid front with players like Onwuzurike, will benefit from the added stability in the secondary. Johnson's ability to generate turnovers and shut down key receivers could be the difference makers in close playoff games, where every possession counts. The Lions have the talent on offense, with Goff leading the way, and now they're bolstering their defense to match that firepower. It's a recipe for a serious run, and fans should be excited about what's coming next. To sum it all up, this trade is more than just a move for a talented cornerback. It's a strategic decision that signals the Lions' intentions to build a true championship-caliber team. Johnson's addition provides immediate upgrades in coverage, creates mismatches against top receivers, and boosts the team's chances to force turnovers and control games. It's a move that could elevate Detroit into the top tier of NFL defenses and push them closer to that Super Bowl dream. The division rivals are feeling the heat, and the entire NFC is watching closely as Detroit retools with this game-changing acquisition. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Are you excited about Johnson's arrival? Do you believe this move puts Detroit in the Super Bowl conversation? I want to hear all your thoughts, so drop your comments below. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about the Detroit Lions. Stay tuned, keep the passion alive, and let's see how this story unfolds in the coming weeks. The Lions are making bold moves, and it's an exciting time to be a fan. Let's get behind our team and see where this new chapter takes us. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!